we have decided to include 2 additional sections to the 8 principles of health outlined in the Bible. And the reason being is that we have seen the necessity of these 2 additional sections to be exposed to the public, because at the end of the day, you can leave the 8 principles of health. But if you're missing these 2 in particular, the ones that we are going to mention about, you might still be suffering from a lack in your health. Okay? The first additional one, we could say that is number 9 principle, is family. Now, last year I had the opportunity within 2 months to meet with 3 ladies. The 3 of them roughly the same age, around 35 to 40 years old. The 3 of them developed breast cancer within the last 3 years. When I inquired with them, what happened 3 years ago, that is anything abnormal happened 3 years ago or 4 years ago that you can think of? The 3 of them at different times, they didn't know each other, at different times, they said, 3.5 years ago, my husband left the house. Or 3.5 years ago, I was divorced. Now, and 3 years later, they were standing in front of me with breast cancer. One case in particular really was amazing. She was inquiring to me about type 1 diabetes, okay, or insulin-dependent diabetes. Her son developed diabetes when he was 13 years old. He was now 16. And I said, wow, what an amazing coincidence that 3.5 years prior now, or prior today, your son was not having type 1 diabetes. He was 12.5. And he was also 12.5 when his father left mother and left him and left the house. And research currently are at a stage in which they are looking at the autoimmune disorder and the link with type 1 diabetes. In other words, your immune system starts attacking your own body, your own pancreas, and your own cells. And they are actually start to finding links between stress and the alteration of the immune system, and those links with type 1 diabetes. Now, I'm not going to say that that boy had type 1 diabetes because of the divorce of his parents, but I just found it interesting and amazingly coincidental that 3.5 years ago, the father left the house, and 6 months later, after all the stress that he went through, he developed type 1 diabetes. You can have all the right food, you can have all the right exercise, you can have all the right purified water, you can have everything of the 8 laws of health. But if you have a family that is collapsing, you're not working towards your health, neither the health of your family. Family needs to be included, because family is the foundation of society, and family is what will sustain the world. Now, that's a photo of my family, by the way, with my 3 children and my wife. It's vital for health. This principle needs to be there. If you're the father of the house, you have a family. If you're the mother of the house, you have a family. If you are a teenager or a young person, you have parents to honor and respect. If you have family that you haven't talked to for a long, long time, let me tell you, the 8 principles of health, there's still something missing in your life. You know, your health is still lame a little bit. It's not working properly. You have a problem with your family, your health will suffer sooner or later. The second principle that we consider that is important to include here, a part of the fact that the family needs to be there is what we can say the 10th principle, beautiful surroundings. Now you can still leave the 8 principles of health right in the center of Sydney. You can get the organic products from the organic shops. You can actually drink the best, healthiest water with a machine. You can do exercise around the park. You can do all that. But the surroundings are not beautiful. The city surroundings. And God hasn't made man to live around artificial buildings. God has made man to live among the forest, among nature, around hills and meadows of green and trees and birds. So beautiful surroundings. Also in this same principle, under this same principle, we can also mention, or we should mention, the fact that neatness and cleanliness, even within your bedroom, within your living room, within your house. When you go to bed and your surroundings are clean and neat, it is more peaceful, more appealing to go to rest. When the house is neat, the garden is trimmed, the weeds are out, it's more appealing to go back home also. Now, it's not the work of your children, it's not the work of your wife or your husband, it's the work of the whole family to put the house neat and in orderly fashion. But the beautiful surroundings, if you are one of the ones that have been considering moving a bit to the country, I'll recommend you to really seriously start making plans about it, start studying situation, the work question, the location question, etc. Because nature brings healing to the senses and healing to the mind also.